Yo, hold up. Before we even get into this video, I need everybody watching right now to understand something. What I'm about to show you might be the craziest footage that surfaced in hip-hop media this entire year, and we're barely into 2026. I'm talking about DJ Akademiks, the man who's been running his mouth for years, allegedly getting absolutely violated by Lil Baby's crew. And word on the street is there's new footage that just dropped that changes everything we thought we knew about that night. And I mean everything. The story you heard, that might not even be half of what really went down. What's good, everybody? It's your boy back with another video, and listen, I had to jump on here immediately because the internet is absolutely losing their minds right now over this Akademiks situation. Now, for those of you who've been living under a rock or just don't keep up with hip-hop drama, let me give you the quick rundown real fast. DJ Akademiks has been one of the biggest media personalities in hip-hop for years now, right? Dude built his whole career off talking about rappers, covering beef, giving his opinion on everything. But here's the thing, when you spend years talking crazy about people, especially people like Lil Baby who got real street dudes around them, eventually that energy is going to come back to you. So a couple months back, there were reports that Akademiks got into an altercation at some club after Aiden Ross's boxing event. You know, the same event where Adam 22 got knocked out by the dude who was allegedly smashing his wife. Wild night all around, right? But the Akademiks situation got brushed under the rug pretty quick. Akademiks came out saying dude swung and missed, the other side saying they slapped the taste out of his mouth. Typical he said type situation. We all moved on. But yo, apparently we moved on way too fast because new footage might have just surfaced, and from what I'm hearing on the streets, on Twitter, on Reddit, this footage is supposedly showing a completely different story than what either side originally told us. Now, before I go any further, I gotta make something clear right now. What I'm about to discuss is speculation. I haven't personally verified this footage exists. Nobody's dropped a link yet that I've seen, but the rumors are flying so crazy right now that I had to address it, because if even half of what people are saying is true, this is going to be the biggest story in hip-hop media for months. We're talking career-altering type stuff for multiple people involved. So here's what allegedly went down based on the whispers I've been hearing. You remember K-Rich, right? Lil Baby's man, the dude who originally came out and said he pressed Akademiks and slapped him? Well, apparently there was way more to that encounter than what he showed on stream. See, when K-Rich first told his version of events, he made it seem like a quick confrontation. He pulled up, said some words, gave Akademiks a couple of slaps, and then Akademiks drove off and supposedly ran to the police. Pretty straightforward street justice type situation if you believe his side. But hold on, because this is where it gets interesting. Multiple people who were allegedly at that club that night have been coming forward on burner accounts, in group chats, on Discord servers, saying that what K-Rich showed was only a fraction of what really happened. And I'm talking about people who claim they saw the whole thing go down with their own eyes. Now again, I can't verify who these people are, but when you start seeing the same story pop up in multiple places from different sources, you gotta start wondering if there's some truth to it. So according to these alleged eyewitnesses, here's what really went down. Akademiks wasn't just with one security guard who was also his driver like K-Rich said. Word is he actually had multiple people with him that night, including AJ, who we know runs his own security service. But here's the crazy part. When K-Rich and whoever else was with him approached the vehicle, it allegedly wasn't just K-Rich by himself. People are saying there were multiple dudes from Lil Baby's camp, and things got way more heated than what was shown on camera. Now here's where it gets even more wild. You remember how Akademiks said he spun back around after they drove off? He told his security to go check who swung at him and found out dude was in a Lambo with Till. Well, apparently during that spin back, there was allegedly a second confrontation, and this one supposedly got way more physical than the first one. I'm hearing reports that when AJ got out to check the situation, words were exchanged, things escalated, and there might have been a whole melee that broke out. And yo, this is pure speculation right now, but people are saying that this new footage allegedly shows Akademiks not in his car during this second confrontation. Some are saying he got pulled out, others are saying he got out himself trying to be tough. But either way, if this footage is real and shows what people claim it shows, we're talking about a completely different narrative than what either Akademiks or K-Rich presented to the public. Now let's think about this logically for a second, right? Because there's some things that never added up about the original stories from both sides. Akademiks is saying dude swung and missed, but then why would you spin back around if nothing happened? Like if somebody took a wild swing at your car and completely missed, you just keep driving. You don't circle back unless something actually connected, unless you actually felt violated and wanted to handle it. That's just human nature. On the flip side, K Rich is saying he slapped Akademiks twice, clean shots, but then why is there no video of the actual slaps landing? He showed the aftermath, showed AJ outside with police, but the actual moment of impact? Nothing. In today's age where everybody got their phone out recording everything, you're telling me nobody got footage of these alleged slaps connecting? That seems suspect too. So maybe, just maybe, the truth is somewhere in the middle. Or maybe it's way worse than either side wants to admit. Because here's the thing about street situations like this. Both sides have motivation to control the narrative. Akademiks doesn't want to look like he got completely violated because that destroys his credibility and makes him look weak in front of his entire audience. K Rich and Lil Baby's camp don't want to show everything that happened because that could potentially lead to legal problems, assault charges, all types of issues. But if this new footage exists and it's as bad as people are claiming, then somebody made a huge mistake by recording it, and an even bigger mistake by letting it leak. Because once that footage hits the internet, there's no taking it back. It's out there forever. And in 2026, footage like that can end careers, lead to arrests, cause all types of problems. Now let's talk about the reactions I've been seeing online, because the hip hop community is absolutely split on this situation. You got one camp that's riding with Akademiks, saying he's been providing content and entertainment for years. He's just doing his job as media, and rappers need to stop being so sensitive. These people are arguing that just because you don't like what somebody says about you doesn't give you the right to put hands on them. And legally speaking, they're absolutely right. Assault is assault, regardless of what words were said beforehand. But then you got the other camp saying, Akademiks has been asking for this for years. They're pointing to all the times he's dissed rappers, called them broke, made fun of their music, allegedly spread false information about them. These people are saying that if you're going to talk like you're untouchable, eventually somebody is going to test that theory. And in the streets, there's a code. You can't just say anything you want about anybody and expect there to be no consequences. Freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from consequences. And honestly, I see both sides. As somebody who also creates content about hip hop, I understand the balance you have to maintain. You want to give your honest opinion, you want to create entertaining content, but you also have to be aware that these are real people you're talking about. Real people with real emotions who might take what you say personally. And some of these real people have real street ties that could lead to real problems. So let's speculate on what happens if this footage actually drops and it's as crazy as people are claiming. First off, Akademiks is going to have to address it, and not just on some streaming rant at 3 in the morning. I'm talking about a full explanation of what happened that night, because his credibility is going to take a massive hit if the footage contradicts his version of events. And we've already seen how he responded to just the allegations. Dude went on a full warpath against Lil Baby, said he's going to destroy his career over the next 18 months using his media platform. If footage comes out making Akademiks look worse than he claimed, that war is going to intensify to levels we've never seen. On Lil Baby's side, if the footage shows his people doing something that crosses legal lines, we could be looking at potential charges. And that's a problem, because Lil Baby is at the peak of his career right now. He doesn't need this type of heat. He doesn't need his name attached to an assault case involving a media personality. That's the type of situation that can mess up endorsement deals, radio play, all types of business opportunities. So if this footage exists, Lil Baby's team is probably in full crisis mode right now, trying to figure out how to handle it. And then there's Till, the alleged orchestrator of this whole backdoor situation, according to Akademiks. If footage proves that Till set this whole thing up, that he deliberately put Akademiks in a position to get hurt, that's going to destroy whatever credibility Till has left in the streaming community. Because at the end of the day, nobody respects a snake. Nobody wants to work with somebody who's going to set up situations where people get hurt just to score points with rappers. But here's what's really crazy to me about this whole situation. Whether this footage exists or not, whether Akademiks got slapped or not, whether Lil Baby ordered it or not, the fact that we're even having this conversation shows how toxic the relationship between media and artists has become in hip-hop, because it didn't used to be like this. Media personalities used to be able to criticize artists without fear of physical retaliation. Artists used to be able to handle criticism without resorting to violence. But somewhere along the way, those lines got completely blurred. And I'm not saying Akademiks is innocent in all this. Dude has definitely said some reckless stuff over the years. He's definitely picked sides in beefs and threw shots at people who didn't deserve it. But at the same time, the response to that shouldn't be violence. It should be proving him wrong with your success, with your music, with your actions. Because the moment you put hands on a media person, you give them exactly what they want. You make them the victim. You make them the story. And that's more publicity than any negative article or video could ever generate. So while we wait to see if this footage actually exists or if this is all just internet speculation and rumor, I want everybody watching to think about the bigger picture here. This situation is a reflection of where we are as a culture right now. The internet has given everybody a platform to say whatever they want about whoever they want with seemingly no consequences. But real life doesn't work like that. In real life, your words have weight, your actions have consequences, and sometimes those consequences come when you least expect them. Whether you ride with Akademiks or you think he got what he deserved, we can all agree that this situation is messy, it's complicated, and if this footage really exists and really shows what people are claiming, it's about to get a whole lot messier. So make sure you stay subscribed, because when that footage drops, if it drops, you know I'm going to be here breaking it all down for you. Until then, let me know in the comments what you think. Do you believe this footage exists? Do you think Akademiks is telling the truth, or is he downplaying what really happened? And do you think Lil Baby should face any consequences if it turns out his people really did violate Akademiks like that? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, share this video, because this is the type of story that's going to have everybody talking. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.